y'all gun locks and everything.
Well, I mean, when I say lock it, you can't
Yeah,
power
I
it.
can't do anything without see password.
Well, you do on yours.
That drive me nuts.
I do. Hang on.
Click that damn button.
You don't start wearing that red suit, I'm gonna report it.
You know, I might just give it back to you.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all gave me something last
You
time.
got that
Put it in
thing
here.
framed on the wall with my name on it.
Yeah, I told you. I put it up in like a sports frame.
God dang.
You got him a mouse pad.
Got him
Yeah,
what?
they gave me one last time. They see me over here struggling and they trying to help me out.
You got a lot of stuff in here, so.
What the hell is all that shit?
Updates every week.
What's an update?
If it's red, that means you really missed out. Just bring this thing up to admin at some point and I'll update it for you.
Okay. I'll see you in a couple of weeks. No.
What's going on, Brent?
Now 6 o'clock, I call this meeting of the Smith County Emergency Services District Number 2 to order. It is 6 p.m. There is a quorum present. Commissioner Domney, Commissioner Wilson, Commissioner Arnold, myself, and Commissioner Thornton by Zoom. At this time, I would ask that Commissioner Domney lead us in the invocation and the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States and Texas flags.
Our Heavenly Father, we come to you this evening, Lord, with heavy hearts that we lost one of our citizens of our county to a tragic accident, Lord. And we pray that you would be with our family, Lord, that you lead, guide them, bring them comfort, as well as those first responders that came to assist us, Lord, that you be with them as well. I know that they always heavy on their hearts also, Lord. Pray that you would be with us tonight as we go through and expect the business of Smith County SB2, as you lead us and guide us.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the sacred flag. I pledge allegiance to these texts, one state, under God, one indivisible. Ask everyone to silence their phones and turn your radios and stuff down if need be. Okay. I don't think we have any guests tonight outside of the usual. Have anybody signed up? Item 4 is public comment. Have anybody signed up for public comment? Okay. All right. Move right along to item 5, which will be our consent agenda. Discuss, consider, and take any action related to the payment of accounts, bills, invoices, payroll requests for reimbursement, requests for other payments, transfer of funds, and amendments. Under 5.1 were emergency purchases. There were none this past month. And under 5.2 is the payment of our bills. I've looked at all of them. I only found one little thing, but that's just a minor thing. But some of the Metro Fire stuff was grouped in under gas detectors and need to be broke out. So, yeah, so that wasn't no big deal, but it just kind of gives a skewed picture of the expense. So unless anybody has anything.
I'll make a motion that we approve item number 5.2 for payment of bills in $1,867,044.47.
A motion by Commissioner Domney, we pay our bills in the amount of $1,867,044.47. To have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. Motion carries. 5.3 is the district credit card bills. They all seem to be in be in order. Most of them were, due to buying parts and stuff for IT and our, deployments. Yes, sir.
Somebody noticed that several of our cards were showing up used, but with some pretty hefty charges on them, is our employees for, forgiveness is our hotels and stuff, is nothing out of ordinary, comes out of that.
Okay.
Which of course will be reimbursed.
Right. Right. Okay. All right. Anybody else have any questions? If not, I entertain a motion for 5.3.
I'll make a motion, we pay 5.3 and the amount of $27,464.86.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Arnold to pay our credit card bills in the amount of $27,464.86. Do I have a second? I have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Any question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. That motion carries unanimously also. 5.4 is our contract payments, which is our insurance, paging, fiber account, electricity, and so forth. Paper call, and stipends. So, if anybody has any questions about those, they all seem to be in order. I would entertain a motion to pay those.
Make a motion to pay item number 5.4, contract payments in the amount of $100,594.95.
There's a motion by Commissioner Domley to pay our contract payments under 5.4 in the amount of $100,594.95. Do I have a second?
Second.
A second by Commissioner Wilson. Any other question or discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And that motion carries unanimously also. All right, 5.5, urgent purchases, none this period, which is good. And let's see, and then 5.6 is just our pre-approved payments made for our Blue Cross Blue Shield of Texas and Verizon Wireless. So those have already been taken care of. I don't think we need to, no action is required. All right, item 6 will be of the approval of the minutes of the March 12th workshop and the March 24th regular meeting.
In both cases, I've gone through and reviewed those minutes, and will be accurate to the committee. I make a motion to approve, the March 12th workshop minutes as well as the March 24th meeting minutes.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Dominic, we approve the workshop minutes of March the 12th and also the Board of Commissioners meeting on March 24th, 2025.
Second.
Second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say aye. And that motion carries. Item 7, Executive Director's Administrative and Financial Report to Board, and there's no action to be taken on that.
I can give a few highlights. You have the written report, so I will focus on a few highlights. The first would be that you're probably all aware of this already, but we are down 2 IT people from a total staff of 3. So there's 1 left, which is Brent, and he's doing double duty right now. We have a good temp who's with us here today, who's filling in, so if there are any issues, please be understanding that we are understaffed right now. Moving on to financials, the sales tax revenue is continuing, exceeding what we budgeted. We are continuing to trace and attribute the positive surprises to that one taxpayer, which I have reviewed with you before. So no need to get too excited. We consider it to be a windfall. We also have we recently received a TIFMAS reimbursement to the tune of $350,000, bringing the year-to-date amount of reimbursement to almost $600,000 versus a budgeted revenue forecast for this of $250,000. So we have several positive revenue surprises. Unfortunately, we also have what looks like to be a potential expense overage, primarily traced back to overtime expenses. And right now, the best we can see is that it could be in the neighborhood of 200,000 to 400,000 net when you factor in all the total personnel expenses. This corresponds to approximately 1.2 to 2.4% of total budgeted personnel expenses. So yes, it was sloppy budgeting, but still pretty acceptable if you look at the percentages, I would say. Nevertheless, it is our intention, the team will look at other savings within operating expenses. So we do not ask to rely on the windfall from the revenue. We intend to keep this within the expense side to still come in within budget.
Eric, could you take a look at last year's performance on overtime and just give us a little bit of comparison to how we're performing? I mean, last year we had over on there as well for similar reasons. I'd like to kind of know how this is compared. Did we get a little bit better at it? Or?
We will make a comparison before next board meeting.
Appreciate it.
And that is all I had, unless the board has any questions.
Thank you.
All right. 7.2, discuss, consider, and take action on the date for the board meeting to be held in May of 2025. And the reason we need to do that, the fourth Monday falls on Memorial Day, and I think staff recommends that we just move the meeting to
The Tuesday.
Tuesday, May 27th. If that's all right with the board, what we'll instruct them to. Okay.
Do we need a formal?
Do we need to do a formal motion on that, or just agree to it?
We do not, it just needs to be posted
Okay.
properly for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
Tuesday.
Okay. But we want to make sure everybody's aware of it, so anyway. All right, 7.3 is investment portfolio report for Smith County ESD covering the fiscal quarter ending March 31st, 2025.
And as always, every quarter, I review it and prepare the report to the best of my ability. I send it over to Commissioner Domini as the other investment officer. He conducts his own independent investigation into the numbers, and we both sign off and verify that the numbers are correct. So, as you can see, we are doing well on the dividends and the interest income, and it's tracking budget almost to the dollar what we have budgeted for it. Not thanks to us, but thanks to the Federal Reserve.
There's no action to be taken on that. All right, item number 8, financial reports. This will be Mr. Keith.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner. If I'd like to look at the budget versus actual comparison for our operating fund, Fund 100. So we're at March 31st, we're 6 months into the year, we're right at 50%. If we look at our ad valorem taxes, we've already received 95% of our budgeted revenue. We anticipate receiving that remaining 5% as well. Sales tax, as Eric mentioned, there's a slight increase there. We have recorded approximately 53% of the budget for sales tax. Typically, sales tax seems to peak around August, September, and October. As Eric mentioned, the TIF-MOS income, we have recorded $592,000 approximately, $250,000 budget. Our total revenues we've budgeted was approximately $24.8 million, and we've already recorded $16.7 million, so we're right at 67% of the realized revenue for FY25, 6 months into the year. The compensation, $11.7 million budgeted. We've already, we've utilized 51% of the budget, so we're right at $6 million approximately. Our benefits on page 2, We're 69% utilized, but that's a little overstated because we've made that one-time payment to the TCDRS. So if you exclude that one-time payment, we're right in line. We're right at 52%. Our total personnel costs we've recorded or utilized 56% of the $16.9 million personnel cost budget. Looking on down the page, administrative operating expenses, we're right at 62%. Contractual, legal, and professional, we're at 51%. If you look at total administrative total, excluding the contingency, which is the $887,000, excluding it, we're right at 53% of the utilized budget. So we're tracking 6 months into the year, close to where we should be. We had budgeted $4.4 million to transfer to our capital accounts, and we've made all those scheduled transfers that the board has approved. For fire operations, or for fire operations and training operations, operations total, we're right at 48% if you add what's been utilized and what's encumbered compared to the $1.8 million budget. And then for facilities, fleet, we're right at 55%. For information technology, we're at 75%, but we pay a lot of those leases or those subscriptions and that lease early in the year, so that's why it's so much higher at 75%. And then logistics, we're right at 45% as far as utilized budget. Total support services, we're at 58% of the budget utilized if you include the encumbrances. So our total expenses of $27.8 million, we have utilized 16.5, and we've encumbered 471,000, which totals 61% of the total budget. And this budget of the $27,850,977 includes all the board approved budget amendments. So we had, in our previous board or previous meeting, we had a budget amendment. So this includes everything.
Any questions about the operating fund?
All good, thank you, Keith.
Anything else you need to speak on, Keith?
No, no.
Item 9, discuss, consider, and take action on depositing $390,000 insurance proceeds to the capital apparatus fund and execute a 2025 budget amendment to increase the apparatus expense budget by $390,000.
I'll speak on that. So, as you're aware, the 2019 Pierce pumper Trump engine 146 was totaled. We received an agreed upon value reimbursement from VFS for $390,000, and the goal is to deposit that into our capital apparatus fund and then increase the budget in the capital apparatus fund so that the chief can go out and look to try to find a replacement vehicle.
Think you can do it?
Close.
Good.
Especially with the remaining that's still in there.
With some assumptions, yes.
Yeah.
But we've got quotes on some of them on the production.
Okay, great.
So I'll entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make the motion that, we deposit the $390,000 insurance proceeds and amend the budget, do the same for the capital apparatus fund, and increase the budget, for the apparatus fund by the $390,000.
A motion by Commissioner Domney to, take the $390,000 insurance proceeds and deposit in the capital apparatus fund and execute a 2025 budget amendment to increase the apparatus expense budget by that $390,000. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And motion carries. Okay. Item 10, Human Resources
So
Report.
Sherry wanted to be here, but she's not released for more than 4 hours per day,
Okay.
which she consumed during the morning, so she'll be here next month. And I presume you all have read the report as far as workforce injuries. There was nothing new to report.
All right. Anybody have any questions on this? All right. Item 11, Community Outreach Coordinator Report. Ms. Nikki.
Hello, good evening. I know the room is a little heavy tonight, so I'm going to take us back before we get to our most recent event. So you'll see a little redundancy. We've had a lot of TIFMAS activity, and of course, we try to keep the community aware of that just so they know what we're involved in. Additionally, with the weather, we've been able to participate in some more PR events within our community. We also have had some canceled because of rain, but we're walking into May where we'll see a lot of activity out with schools. So we'll be participating in a lot of those end-of-year projects, things that are coming up within the school ground. So we're excited to participate in some of those things, some things with Cub Scouts. We were at the Touch a Truck event. But that being said, with some of those PR events, as we are growing our partnerships with other departments, we do want to make sure that we are respectful of neighboring fire districts. And so we're working with them just to make sure that we're all together and on the same page when it comes into stepping into other boundary lines. So we just want to make sure that we're respectful of that. But so far we've had a great time doing a lot of these things. We have had obviously continued great relationships with our local media. I don't know if you guys saw this. I say this often because we get these calls often. Pets are a huge thing in Smith County. If you don't know, we are pet lovers here. And the guys rescued a cat out of a wall very early in the morning. And as far as reach goes, we had well more than 100,000 plays on this video, and it was picked up. So it's just funny to see this little sweet video and this sweet little rescue be such a huge thing on social media. Of course, the last 24 hours have been intense, which quite frankly, that is every day of their lives. But we really appreciate, and I say we, I'm speaking on behalf of everyone, just the support that we received from all of our volunteer firefighters, our neighboring departments, EMS, police officers, game wardens, everyone. They just did a fantastic job coming together and collaborating. And of course, from my perspective, I'm able to just step in, everyone gets me what I need, and then I'm there to speak with the media well into the early hours of the morning. And so I just appreciate everyone's willingness to step in and do that and help get the information collected, get it accurate so that we can report on it the way that we do. So.
Very good. I saw a lot of your reports come out through several different media outlets.
Yes, yes, we stay on. I have lots of conversations with them.
I was going to say, your interview was very good. I watched the whole thing.
Thank you, thank you.
You did very well.
And it was great because Chief Clanton got to give the perspective from a little bit more of a tactical perspective. But I say this often, I have received such a great education from those individuals in operations. So I was proud when I watched Chief Clanton's interview and was, standing beside him to know that our answers mirrored each other. And so I just was like, okay, so I'm good. I know what I'm talking about. So anyway, so I do. I appreciate everyone being able to step in and walk alongside me. It's been great. Okay, thank you.
Item 12, Assistant Executive Director's Report on Support Services. Larry?
Commissioners, as always, you'll have my report in front of you. I'll just call out a few things. One, we did have an issue with importing the mileage information into the charts, so you may not see that reflected, but we are about 50,000 miles as of last month. The fleet maintenance backlog is beginning to decrease. The repairs are being completed at a faster rate. The new work orders are being submitted. We will continue to see that improve, although we'll see it slow a little over the next couple of months as we attempt to tackle some larger repairs. So we'll see those numbers decline just a little bit. Facilities maintenance is showing strong improvements. They're down to an 8-minute response time and a 10-day resolution time. Those are both well below the targets. and we'll continue to see those improve as well. The logistics SLAs are a target for me going forward to try to reduce some of the time that we're having in logistics backlogs. So we'll start to see improvements on that hopefully in the next couple of months as that works as my next target. PPE inventory, as we've talked about before, is under strain, and we do have the budget overrun on fire extinguisher maintenance, and we're going to change how we budget that going forward. It's actually going to get split into two lines. Right now, fire extinguisher recharges that are used by operations on the fire trucks are grouped in with all of our maintenance at different facilities. That makes it harder to budget for. And then as you all know, we've talked about it, but I'll mention it again. IT is having a hard time right now. We're falling below ticket demand, and we intend that to at least last another 90 to 100 days as we work to replace somebody and get people trained.
Are you able to keep up with the most critical items?
We are, and we're managing. The main thing right now is our response time is delayed. We're not responding to tickets as fast as we'd like to, but we're still resolving tickets on time.
So the overall operations still being
Yes, sir.
supported and ongoing, and that's great. I mean, some of the smaller items.
Yes, it's mainly going to be delaying some of our projects. We'll have to put some of the projects that we really want to get completed on hold. Those are pretty much stopped. Having our temp here is very helpful, and it was very important to get that in. We couldn't do it with just one person. There's no way. But it's going to take some time for him to get up to speed, and so we will have some delays. But yes, sir.
So you say we're about 50,000 miles more than we were last month?
No, we're at about 50,000 miles. I didn't do a comparison.
We were about 36,000.
Yeah, I'm thinking we're up. Let me look here. I think we're up from 36,000 last month and almost a 20% increase from this time last year. So we're up about 20% year over year.
Does that do with increasing call volume or the TIFMAS performance?
I think it's a mix. I think we've got more staffed stations. Those tend to generate a little more mileage. We've had the TIFMAS deployments, and we also have our own in-house facilities team now. So we got the groundskeepers running around. So that's where we're seeing additional mileage. And that's all I have for my report other than what's in there, unless you have any questions.
Joel? Scott, you got anything? Okay. All right. 12.2, discuss, consider, and take action on the purchase of station boots for personnel. Authorize the purchase of station boots from NAVCO at a cost not to exceed $11,960.
Commissioners, if you'll recall, we switched the way that we did boots. We used to do boot reimbursements. We moved to an inventory system. Right as we had that, we had a manufacturing issue pop up. We've been working with the vendor trying to find alternative solutions. However, they finally notified us that the manufacturing shortages have been resolved and that they are ready to process orders. And so we have a lot of orders that we need to process at this point to clear our backlog. That's why you're seeing this request in front of you. Normally, we would just be purchasing to replace inventory. Those occur as they get used, and we don't have to come back to the board. But because we had such a large stacked back order, we thought it beneficial to bring it to the board just for transparency. It is budgeted and required under the provisioning policy.
Make a motion that we approve the purchase of station boots from NAVCO at a cost not to exceed $11,960.
Motion by Commissioner Domney to authorize the purchase of station boots from NAVCO at a cost not to exceed $11,960. Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 12.3, discuss, consider, and take any action on purchasing new pump head kit for fleet inventory at a cost of $2,311.13.
Commissioners, this is inventory replenishment. If you'll think back a few months ago, we did the same thing. This just allows us to get trucks out of the shop faster and less downtime. And we just used one. So.
I make a motion we authorize staff to purchase a replacement kit from Metro Fire at a cost of $2,311.13.
Motion by Commissioner Domney to purchase a replacement pump head kit from Metro Fire at a cost of $2,311.13.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay.
Aye.
And that motion carries. 12.4, discuss, consider, and take action on complete engine in-frame overhaul for Chapel Hill Engine 136 at a cost of $28,030.96. And it's to be done by Hicks Six and Company.
Yes, sir. This is a budgeted line item, budgeted purchase. It's part of our preventative maintenance schedule on these trucks. We start to see issues requiring in-frames with more extensive repairs around this mileage. So this is an attempt to get ahead of that. We did this last year on 2 engines. This is the only engine this year that we've budgeted for an in-frame, and we believe it's time to go ahead and get it completed. There is an evaluation tabulation, and this would be the first time we're using Hex 6, and we look forward to working with a new vendor.
Entertain a motion on 12.4.
Authorize staff to contract Hex Six and Company LLC to perform the complete in-frame overhaul for Chapel Hill Engine 136 at a cost of $28,030.96.
Motion by Commissioner Arnold, authorize staff to contract Hex Six and Company LLC to perform the complete in-frame overhaul for Chapel Hill Engine 136 at a cost of $28,030.96. Do I have a second? Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. Do you have any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. 12.5, discuss, consider, and take action on the purchase of uniforms and PPE for recruit class number 8. And, at a cost not to exceed $66,051.52.
Commissioners, this is a mixed bag of items. Some of it is inventory replenishment for things that have already been issued, some PPE, a lot of uniforms, as well as structural PPE that needs to be orders be placed.
All right, I'll entertain a motion on that.
So we have one line item right that's gonna be, over budget, pushes over budget and gear and PPE on this purchase.
Yes, sir, that is correct. That's the one that we've been talking about for a little bit. And I think we really talked about that back when we purchased the wildland equipment. We do believe that we're going to be able to cover that overage within the logistics budget, taking from uniforms. So we believe we'll be able to manage.
Thank you.
I'll entertain a motion on that item.
I'll make the motion to authorize the purchase of the needed PPE and uniform items at a cost not to exceed $66,051.52.
Motion by Commissioner Wilson. Have a second?
Second.
Have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 12.6, discuss, consider, and take action on the purchase of badges for staff. Authorize the purchase of badges, brass, and name tags at a cost of $7,246.50 from Tim Bryan Badge and Insignia.
Commissioners, Tim Bryan Badge and Insignia is who we purchased the badges for the first time. They're holding true to pricing, and we just ask that we go ahead and proceed with this purchase. It is within budget.
I'll make the motion, we authorize purchase of badges, brass, and name tags at cost of $7,246.50 from Tim Bryan Badge and Insignia.
Motion by Commissioner Dommy, a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries. 12.7, discuss, consider, and take action on repairing engine 146 rescue tools at a cost of $4,975.82. And, the insurance reimbursement is provided by BFIS in that amount, and we just need to authorize the staff to go ahead and use that money to, get the rescue tools repaired.
Make a motion, we authorize item number 12.7 for the repair of the Troop Engine 146 tools in the amount of $4,975.82.
Motion by Commissioner Dommy, I have a second. Second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say no. That motion carries. 12.8, discuss, consider, and take any action on repairing multiple CB8 breathing air cylinders at a cost not to exceed $4,704.
Commissioners, I think there's a couple of packs in here as well. This is our contracted vendor, and we just ask that we go ahead and move forward with necessary repairs.
Entertain a motion on 12.8.
Make a motion, we allow staff to schedule Mitchell Fire Apparatus Specialties to perform the repairs and attached quote at a cost not to exceed $4,704.
Motion by Commissioner Dommy, I have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. 12.9, discuss, consider, and take any action on approval of proposed auction items. Larry, you want to speak on that?
Commissioners, we have a large backlog of auction materials. We've worked to try to get some procedure, some defined forms and stuff for bringing it to the board, developed, and waiting until we had a large auction to be had. We think we're ready. You'll see some new asset disposal forms that we're using for all assets that are going to be disposed, that are valued and have an asset tag. So we're conducting those now on all support services disposed assets. You will note that there's 3 assets in this list that is not owned by ESD2. These would be pass-through funds. So any auction proceeds that we would get would have to be distributed to either Chapel Hill VFD or Bullard VFD for those items. And we'll have to work closely with those VFDs to get all the accompanying documentation provided. This just allows it to be a little easier for the VFDs to dispose of those assets.
Does that go out US-wide?
Yes, sir. It is a nationwide company. It's an online auction. This is the same company that we've used for the past 3 or 4 auctions.
Have you got pretty good response on the past one?
Yes, sir, we have.
Everybody is on board for us to auction off their stuff, Chapel Hill and Bullard.
Yeah, we'll have to probably get some board minutes from both of them, just to get it all squared away, but yes, sir.
Paula has verbally contacted the impacted chiefs and they have given the permission.
Yes.
And that's good, not saying their word's not good, but it'd be good to have some minutes or something where they did approve that, and we've got it, at least got it on file. Y'all don't mind doing that, or just send a letter, signed by the board, president, or the chief, or whoever you need to, so. Just covers everybody's rear end, so, all right. We'll entertain a motion on that. We got to make one? Yep. I need to have a motion on, doing the auction.
I'll make a motion to approve the proposed list of auction items as presented, including the sale of 3 volunteer fire department owned assets, Chapel Hill and Bullard. Authorize staff to use Auctioneer Express and distribute the proceeds from those items owned by the VFDs to the appropriate VFDs.
A motion by Commissioner Arnold, do I have a second? A second by Commissioner Wilson. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. That motion carries unanimously too. 12.10, discuss, consider, and take any action on replacing the shower at Bullard 1 and allow the staff to hire and contract a vendor to replace the shower at Bullard Station 1 at a cost not to exceed $6,200, including contingency of $2,000. And that will only be used in the event for the damage is found and must be repaired before installing a new shower.
Commissioner, you did a good job of describing it. I don't know if I can add anything. The special considerations really are the fact that we don't own the facility, but I think this is firmly a maintenance item. And just like you pointed out, we do have a large contingency as a percentage of the project, but it's just due to the unknowns.
I'll make a motion motion allows staff to hire the contracted vendor to replace the shower at board 1, station 56, cost not to exceed $6,200, including the contingency of $2,000.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Dommy, I have a second.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay, and that motion carries. Item number 13, Chief of Operations report.
Good evening, Commissioners. You have my report. A couple of things I'd like to highlight. We just completed the Officer Development School that we did on Thursday and Friday, presented here in Smith County for volunteers, for paid staff. We had a remarkable time with some really high-end educators. So we had from Texas A&M May School of Business, Dr. Rosser, just really getting into generations and getting into the psychology of the business of what we do. So I couldn't say enough good things about the presentations, the quality of the work that was collaborated. We are also able to bring in City of White House lieutenants, sat with us, so really able to work collaboratively with that. So my appreciation publicly is for Chief Strickland and the work that he accomplished to put that together. A lot of true work to get that organized and get it on the books and get those speakers here. And the reviews have been fabulous from that particular school. So thank you for your support in allowing us to do that. I hope that's the first of many. I'm a firm believer in officer development, and I think that was fabulous.
How many did you have?
We had 25 the first day. We had about 14, 15 the second day, plus that one night we were at Flint Baptist Church and we did line of duty death reviews by Daniel Dier, retired chief of Dallas, assistant chief out of Dallas, who was on 20 line of duty death investigations for the state of Texas task force. So his perspective is quite phenomenal, and what the lessons learned that he's able to share with that. That particular night we had from Chapel Hill, we had some off-duty paid staff. We were able to kind of do an unplugged session with him and some question and answer. It was rather fabulous. You might notice I've talked about the newly promoted driver engineers. So we've just completed that. We're now moving into the lieutenant process, and we're excited about that work and what lies ahead with that. The closing date is May 23rd for those that intend to test for lieutenant. So we're moving forward on that process, and I think we have about 6 vacancies total in the lieutenant world. So we'll need to hopefully gain those from inside is our hope. I got my fingers crossed that we're able to continue and get those positions filled. We have collaborated and met on facility renovations at Bullard, as you just approved a moment ago. Some other really light renovation kind of things to make it useful for the paid and volunteer staff that operate out of those facilities. So those are ongoing. Some Chapel Hill stuff that we've been working on with Mayor Riley Harris, and so some good collaboration meetings that have taken place. President Brown, you were able to attend that one, and I felt like that was excellent collaboration that took place there. I would comment on our water rescue program development. As you know, you've supported that heavily. You've contributed to us being able to operate in that world, like Nikki was able to share with us a moment ago the things that took place last night, and our capabilities have improved dramatically. And so I express my appreciation for your support, the training hours that we've poured off into that, the moves that we're moving staff now to the Noonday Firehouse and getting the right people assigned there. So those teams are coming together, the technical disciplines are coming together. We're not exactly where I want to be, but we're really making a lot of progress, and the training is ongoing. We've got a lot of stuff planned for May, some boat schools and things of that nature. So I'm really excited about us being able to operate in that world, not only safely, but also at a technical competency that we should be at. So thank you for your support with that. CAD work is ongoing. We met, in fact, this morning with a conference call with Motorola CAD vendor, ESD1, Lindell, CAL FIRE, City of White House Fire, and ESD2. Project is coming together. We've got some updates on the access agreement that Mr. Hardy's accomplished for us, so we got to walk that back through the Commissioner's Court, and they're prepared to get those done in short order. So things are really starting to move forward. I'm told by Larry that some of the equipment's starting to arrive, the things that you approved back in December or so, whenever that date was. But some of the equipment is beginning to arrive, and the timelines are being able to be established soon as the sales hands us off to a program development team. So those things are happening as we speak. I hope to be able to update you more on that next month. And I'll just point to our service provider volunteer fire department activity report. A couple of errors in there. Chapel Hill, Todd Moore and I went back and audited and looked at one we think that was probably attributed to some training assignments, so that probably should have been at 12 rather than at 10. But we're seeing, I think that the snapshot here is that we're seeing improvement in participation. We're seeing improvement in rostering. We're seeing improvement across the board. So I think that this is a good indication, a good snapshot of what we're seeing there. Commissioners, happy to answer any questions you might have on the training or any other things that are in our report.
All right. 13.2, discuss, consider, and take any necessary action on approval of personnel attending an advanced EMT course.
Commissioners, I'm very excited to continue our work. And we just talked about water rescue, and talking about our abilities to save lives in the medical world of first responders. We have been working behind the scenes on trying to find a way to improve our certification. This takes us from basic EMT to advanced. The advanced certification, and the big question that has to be in everybody's mind is, what can we do with it? So we get the training, but what do you do with said certification? And so we're happy to report that we've met with Dr. Desai, that we've talked with UT, that there already is an advanced protocol in place. Other agencies in the region are operating on that, Athens for an example. And so there are certain treatments and modalities that we could incorporate and assume in a new protocol for ESD2. That could happen for any of our service provider as well. It would all require skills verification checkoffs, all of those things to make sure that you're adequately trained and skilled to accomplish those particular skills, and then an adoption of a protocol with the FRO. So there's certain steps to accomplish. We're not quite there, but we understand that the roadmap is clearly in place to get there.
One thing I forgot, you were talking about that, you might also just check with Sean Salter.
Yes, sir.
Let him know what's going on. I don't think they'll have a problem with it, but let's just touch base with him.
Absolutely.
Let him know what's going on.
Absolutely happy to do so. As you know, I'm still quite passionate about EMS and being able to appropriately put the skills and equipment in place to save lives.
In support of that initiative, I'd make the motion we approve the course in the amount of $35,000 for our personnel to attend the AMT course at TJC.
Motion by Commissioner Domney to approve the course in the amount of $35,000 for personnel to attend the advanced EMT course at TJC. Have a second? Have a second by Commissioner Wilson. And also, there are some volunteers who are attending this course too, so it's open to everybody. So anyway, it's a good deal. And the big thing is it gets medical help to our citizens quicker.
Commissioners, one last thing, if you recognize that this is a collaboration with Tyler Junior College, who is willingness to work with us on tuition waiver. And so the tuition waiver can be in place, and as well as us only paying the required fees, which is what you have before you. And so I feel like this is a win-win for the district. It's a win-win for our communities. It's also great collaboration with the college.
All right. Any other question or comment? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, say nay. And that motion carries unanimously. All right, item 14, discuss, consider, and take any action on fire chiefs presenting and discussing issues with the board for future actions. Art, Chief Hickman, how are you?
Good evening, Commissioners. As far as calls go for Art, we had 68 calls in the month of March, so we were pretty busy, especially that first weekend, March 1st and 2nd. I think by the end of that weekend, we had several people that had already met active status, and we were only a couple of days in to the month, and we stayed that way the rest of the month. As far as training goes, I have one guy that went to CDL school, got his Class A CDL, so now he can drive some of our bigger apparatus. I also had one guy go to a 20-hour education class taught by Teats, and he got his certification for that. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate it. Bullard.
Good afternoon. And I wanted to piggyback off Chief Greaser and say thank you for the support for that leadership development. I was able to attend on Friday, and it was a really good class. So thank you for the support, and thank you, Chief, and Chief, for putting that on. That was a really good experience. So I want to take a moment to introduce Assistant Chief Terry DeGentz with Bullard. He came on as Assistant Chief back in January and has been serving there with us. And I wanted to take a moment and explain that I'm looking for some life balance. And so I'm taking a step back here at the end of the month at this week. And so on May 1st, our board has decided to appoint Chief DeGentz to the role of Fire Chief for Bullard. So just want to kind of take a moment and say thank you for everything that you've done, and thank you for supporting us in our endeavors. All right. I'm going to hand things over to Chief.
Well, thank you, Chief Riley, for your service. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioners, Chief. Brief introduction. This is my 40th year in the fire service. I am no spring chicken to this. I spent 26 years as a career firefighter paramedic. Paramedicine is, much as Chief Greaser said, a staple in my lifestyle, and I look forward to working with the commissioners. Very excited about the opportunities that we have with the 2 Bullard stations, and working with the commissioners to come forward with a plan to make that a tenable, livable space for the ESD and for the Bullard firefighters. If you have any questions, we have a Sling app that we utilize, and I'm sure you've heard about it. So our report is a bit skewed on our hours. What you can look forward to is reduced hours because of the now staffing 24/7 at the Bullard station. We've seen in April a scale back of the volunteer hours, so that may help offset the cost that the ESD is incurring. Do you have any questions of me? Chief, I do want to acknowledge, though, that out of all the different departments, you have 16 active personnel out of the 20 membership. So you have not only about 80% of your membership that is in active status, which is the high score across all different districts. So congratulations to all of you out there. Bullard, great job. Appreciate it. And not to diminish anybody else's district, but I want to acknowledge where some of you exceed. Acknowledge that. And if you look at the 4 members that are inactive at this time, I believe 3 of those 4 members was due to the fact that they're in the TJC Fire Academy. They are graduating. All 4 of them have passed their state exams, so we're looking forward to having them as active members next month.
Very good. Very good. Thanks, Chief. Chapel Hill, Chief Pierce. He's listed twice. You gotta give 2 reports.
Yeah, you got to do this twice.
Twice? Oh, I'll get my lieutenant to the others. We had a busy month too as well. You see we had 115. I have some of the stuff on our training we've done. I had 3 guys went to the Teats Passenger Vehicle Restoration education class out in Russ. I have one member that completed his Instructor 2 course through the TPSP, so we got higher education for an instructor to help out. Then I also had one completed the TEEX, the TEEX Rope Rescue Awareness Operation. She took that through Russ County as well. Russ County, they're putting on a lot of classes. We've been attending pretty well out there through TEEX. Also, I got one officer as a member, or one member and 2 officers actually attended our Northeast Texas SFMA conference here this last weekend on that as well. And also, I guess during that conference, one of your employees, Kelsey Trotty, received the Firefighter of the Year award through SFMA as well. And in April, or actually in March, we did forcible entry, but in April, our training, in April this year, we did with UT Texas, or UT Tyler. The health EMS came out to our station and put on a 4-hour class for all the protocols that get our volunteer guys up through their protocol. From anywhere from the AED to the Lucas machine to doing wound care and all that stuff. We did stages. There was 5 different stages that we went through, and each one had to be passed by that, and we all passed through that. And then, let's see. Oh yeah, nice. And then we did like Bullard. We have started this month now for our guys being staffed around the clock, so it's not as much for us to do, but we will still. I always told my members that just because they're there, don't mean we have to stop running. They still got to keep the run up, keep our quota. Where you see my guys, I got most of my guys are still running good on it, keeping up the stuff. And then also, I did it as well as they were saying the CDL license. I have one guy completed his, so I got another person who can drive a truck now. And I got another one in the process. He took the test. He's just now going to take his driving part. So I have another one to be able to drive our trucks as well. And then also, I got now through the commission, officer receiving the TCFP certification for rope rescue technician is now been approved. So it's been started this last month. So I have one person just completed that now. So we got a rope technician through the commission side. And then I got also I got one member. It's in the process of through the paperwork, and he just completed his through TJC, and he passed all his commission side. So when he gets my paperwork, I'll have another certified fireman as well on that. And then I got another person that's contacted me. I got to get him started to get his paperwork started.
Good result. And I'll give you acknowledgement for runner-up as far as the highest number of participating personnel within your group. So.
Yeah. Yeah, like the only ones that didn't make it was actually one of them is my chaplain, which he's gonna see he'll never be, he don't make runs, and that's why he's gonna be low on that part. And then the other one, he just got approved this last month, so that's why he didn't make it.
Very good result.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief. One question. Assistant Chief.
I don't think I've got very much of an update for you. Things are going as they normally go in Flint. Don't have any concerns, any issues to bring to the board. So any questions that you have, I'll address them, but otherwise I don't think I've got anything to really talk about right now.
Okay.
Monday, last one, Chief.
Yeah, next month will be civilian close. As many of you know, so our board, May 15th will be my last day as chief there at Noonday. Our Noonday board had elected to, instead of hiring another chief, it was unanimous to merge our volunteers with the ESD. We've already had some of our members ask. I've got 4 that live in Troop. They're interested in volunteering in Troop. But I just want to thank the ESD for all your help, Chief Greaser, Larry, Eric, everybody else. Appreciate y'all's support. We couldn't have done what we did in Noonday the last 7 years without y'all's support. Also with the Noonday City Council, they gave us funds and donations that allowed us to do some things that we couldn't have done without it. Another thing, I'd like to recognize Chief Simmons for his hard work on training and getting everybody trained. I believe we talked, I think there's 8 people that came through Noonday that currently work full-time for the ESD. And with that being said, we've got 4 in Fire Academy that will be done by June. So they're wanting to come to work full-time for the ESD as well. So just like to say thank y'all and appreciate everything that y'all have done for us.
Chief, thanks to you as well, sir.
Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. White House, Chief Tate? Yep. He's actually walking better today.
Getting a little better every day. Okay, so this month was a really busy month for us at White House. We made a little bit of a shift in the way that we meet, and this followed a trial that was tried at Flint, and they found it to be successful, and so we decided to emulate that. So instead of meeting twice a month on Monday nights, we went to a 1 Saturday a month meeting, and the goals behind that were to be more efficient with our time primarily. You all know how it is when you have a meeting, you spend 30 minutes, especially in a kind of an informal meeting, talking at the beginning of the meeting, and then you have about 10 or 15 minutes of work that gets done, and then, you know, whatever training you can squeeze in at the end. So we're combining that together. A second goal was to build teamwork and camaraderie with the on-duty paid staff for whatever Saturday we're meeting. So having those goals in mind, my board has authorized us to buy food for meals for breakfast and lunch for those Saturdays. So this particular Saturday, I believe it was April 12th, we met. The on-duty crew was B shift, so it was Michael Malone, Adam Hughes, and Austin Adams. And we bought breakfast stuff. We stood around the kitchen, we cooked, we talked, we ate breakfast. As soon as we got done with breakfast, we divided out into our planned training, which I had worked with Lieutenant Malone on to get them to assist us with, again, working on team building and camaraderie here. So we had set aside, I believe it was 9 skills that we felt we could accomplish in that day before 5 o'clock. And we reached out to other departments. Flint meets the same day as us. We reached out to them. They had some folks come over and join us. We reached out to Winona. These are primarily people working on their Firefighter 1 certification through SFMA. Winona brought several people down as well. So we ended up with 3 departments participating, 8 students total working on their Firefighter 1. We had 6 instructors on the volunteer side, and we had the 3 paid staff. We were able to accomplish all of the skills before lunch. And so then all the instructors got together at the lunch table and said, we've got them here, what can we do next? And we reached out to the students and we told them, we're done for the day. If y'all want to go home, go. Chief, we're here, let's get some stuff done. So we quickly went into the computer, we figured out what we could, without a lot of work, pull together and do additional skills in the afternoon. So we added 6 additional skills. We rotated all the students through a total of 15 skills that day. It was a huge success in my book. I've been doing training for a good bit of my career, and I think this is one of the most successful single training days that we've ever had that I've been involved in. The students are excited about it. They've been talking about it. We've already been working with staff moving forward as to what shift's going to be on duty, and we've told them, hey, you don't have to worry about breakfast and lunch on these days. We're going to cover it, and it worked really well. So huge success there, and I'm looking forward to the next one. Additionally, we've had 1 student that was in the TJC Fire Academy that was already mentioned by other speakers that completed the academy this week. Well, I guess they graduate next week, but he has notified us that he has passed his state exam, so we're looking forward to having him more active. And we had 1 event out at the Boulders. They had a PR event that they invited us to, which is their Easter egg hunt. We go to that every year. We now have our recruitment tent and materials, so we set up out there. We made 2 pretty good contacts, one that is in our district and the one that is in Chief Peterson's district over at Chapel Hill. So we feel like there's probably potential of 2 good volunteers. Chief Peterson's going to get the better end of the deal. His guy's a career guy from the colony, so says he's bored on his days off. They work a 48-96, and he's looking for something to do and give back to the community. So I think they're going to be pick up a good volunteer there. The only other thing that we did this month, big change, is we have started the rostering program at White House. We've got a couple of personnel that are trying that out. We've stumbled a little bit. We've had to figure out, how do we schedule this? How do we account for it is one issue. So we've had a couple of little hiccups with it, but I think we've got it under control. And I've got some other people that are wanting to try it. It's new. And the old saying goes, firefighters hate 2 things, the way things are today and change. So we're gonna keep moving forward with that and see what happens. Any questions for me?
Congratulations, Chief, to help on the training and bring
Yep.
it all together.
Yep.
Really great.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for doing that, Chief. Appreciate it. All right, went on now, Chief Allen.
As Chief Tate said a while ago, we are still actively pursuing training. I've got several new to the fire service, so they're getting to be oriented to the way we do things, why we do things, and how we do things. So that's been one of our focal points this last month on our training side. I'm not sure what Chief Hyatt informed you guys of last month, but we did have one go get the pro board instructor at some spring school. We had one finish completely up with his firefighter 2 and is interested in an EMT course. We just got to figure out how to make that one happen. But overall, we're just busy and try to see where we can help out. So, all right.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to item 15, which is closed session. The board will convene closed session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Texas Government Code 551.071, 551.072, and 551.074. No action shall be taken while the board is in closed session. Any final action, final decision, or final vote shall be taken after the board reconvenes in open session. And we are in closed session at 7:05, and I ask everyone to please vote. All right, I call regular session back to order at 7:51 PM. And 16.1, discuss and consider and take any action on the purchase of real property.
I make a motion that we authorize the purchase of real property and authorize the board president to sign all related documents.
There's a motion by Commissioner Dominy to authorize the purchase of real property and authorize the board president to sign all related documentation. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Commissioner Arnold. Is there any other question or discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries unanimously. Item 17. Remarks by presiding officer and/or board members, information updates, items to be placed on future agendas and/or future meeting dates, times, and/or locations. Grant, you have anything?
I mean, just, I'll be in our before we start off with prayer. We lost somebody, and I know that it's great loss to their families, but also great loss in our organization, and it's going to go type things. I know we lost the sport, but just make sure, you know, before we go to the sport, you understand the grief. We certainly appreciate all of it. These are hard times.
Right? Nope. Okay, the only thing I'll just tack on to what Brent said, it's hard. Not only we lost a citizen, but also we lost a Tyler police officer on Friday too, which was tragic, so, it affects all of us, one way or another. Whether you're in the job, doing the job, or part of the job, so, anyway. And the only other thing is, just to remind everybody that our monthly meeting next month will be on May 27th, 6 PM at this location. And outside of that, we are adjourned at 7:53.